We are back with Craig and Frankie, and Canada's comeback sets up a date with the Americans. But this semifinal game was capped by a special Nathan McKinnon moment. And Craig, just how great was he, and how great was this power play?
Well, let's start with McKinnon. There couldn't have been a better timing for Nathan McKinnon to get that goal. And the power play is so exceptional. They were out there for 2 minutes plus before that goal went in. And Nathan McKinnon reading where he needed to be, and McDavid just kind of stepping in and feeding him. It looks a lot from the opposite side of McDavid and Draisaitl in Edmonton, but you're looking for that breakthrough. Nathan McKinnon was looking for that. He found it, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Canada.
This was huge for Nathan McKinnon, right? Like, he hasn't necessarily looked like himself. Not 100%, whether it's an ailment or something that's lingering. But on this play specifically, he makes the play that draws the penalty. Then he has a power play where they do everything but score, apply the pressure, then eventually do score. So this was a big moment for McKinnon, who at times has looked like maybe not quite his usual pace, not quite his usual tenacity and power, and a little frustrated at times. Nathan McKinnon was big in a moment where Canada really needed him to be.
He really was. And then there's the teenager, McKinnon Celebrini. He was amazing in this one. He led all skaters with almost 26 minutes of ice time. 26. Also led the game with 8 shots on goal. Craig, was he the best player on the ice for Canada in this one?
No question in my mind. And you watch McKinnon Celebrini play, and you understand that he is a young player, but he's not. He's got maturity far beyond his years. And it doesn't matter where he is on the ice. He can make a play. It can be in the defensive zone. It can be in the offensive zone. His sense of space, his sense of timing, his understanding of the game, it's off the charts. And you're watching somebody now that is such an instrumental part of Team Canada. This isn't somebody that's just kind of doing his thing and finding his way, getting his feet wet. He is an instrumental player for Team Canada.
He may have come into this tournament being a complimentary piece, but he is a forefront player right now for Team Canada. And for young players, it can go one of two ways, right? Like, you can maybe try and do a little too much, some immaturity, or you can play it really safe and say, I just don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake on this big stage for Team Canada, everything that entails. What McKinnon Celebrini does so well is understands what the right play is at the right time. When there's space available to you, go ahead, make the play off the rush. But when you have to live to fight another day, when you have to chip and chase it and go recover it, he does that really well. So the fact that he's able to process all that information and make the right plays just goes to show you how mature this kid is at such a young age. And of course, he has the skill to go with it.
Frankie, that's exceptionally well said. And I think that that's exactly what happens. You kind of find yourself trying to do too much, or you tend to be a little bit tentative. We don't see either of those things from McKinnon Celebrini.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Now, Sidney Crosby, of course, lots of talk about him being out. Canada had to name a captain. They put the C on Connor McDavid. And Craig, how impressive was this comeback win for McDavid?
I have to quote our friend Mike Johnson during the broadcast. He said he's been supernova great. And
I like it.
Yeah, it kind of is it's a big statement. But I think that when you watch Connor McDavid play, 2 points again in this one, the pass to McKinnon on the winning goal. Everything that Connor McDavid is doing is at the highest level. We know that he's the best player on the planet. There is no question that he's the best player, and he has led Canada. Certainly the absence of Sidney Crosby is going to be felt on the ice, but Connor McDavid also has this maturity about him, knows who he is, knows what he is, been to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years. So I think he understands how to manage all that. He doesn't try to be what Sidney is, but he's comfortable being who Connor McDavid is. And I think that's really important in the absence of Sidney Crosby.
And think about this, like, Connor McDavid has elevated his game in this tournament. Clearly, we've seen that. But he's going to be asked to do more, and he has been asked to do more, right? Like, Sidney Crosby has been the face of hockey in this country, the face of hockey anywhere, really, the captain of Team Canada. He goes out, now the C goes on Connor McDavid's jersey, more responsibility, but he's ready for it. He can handle it and has another big game. He continues to impress, he continues to elevate his game, and quite honestly, like, Team Canada's going to need Connor McDavid to have another big one. They can't do this without Connor McDavid elevating his game one last time for a gold medal.
You can't help but wonder where the ceiling is for McDavid. Of course, we want to see him play like the level he's playing on. I mean, it's just so entertaining. Now, Canada may not have Crosby for Sunday's final, so Craig, can they survive without him?
Yeah, they can. There's no question. They've shown it through the past 2 games. I mean, they lose Crosby in the early part of that game versus Czechia. So what ends up happening, you got the luxury of Nick Suzuki sliding in between Marner and Stone. We just talked about McDavid. We see what Celebrini is doing. McKinnon kind of breaks the ice, gets a big-time goal for Canada, and you know he's wired to do that. So this isn't going to come down to 1 player or 2 players, but what they've demonstrated is they've been tested. They've come through the tests, and they haven't panicked. One of the things I was watching for in this game was, okay, is somebody going to try to do too much? Is the team going to get away from what they're trying to do? They never did. They stayed true to what they've gotten this far. I don't think there's any question that they can win without Sidney Crosby.
They let the rest of us panic instead, right? I think we took it on enough for the players. Now, Crosby had 6 points before leaving Canada's 4th game of the tournament. We'll wait and see if he plays Sunday.